With the leaks from Corocoro, a silhouette of a giant Pokemon has been the topic of a lot of discussion and speculation. And with the hexagonal pattern that it bears, it seems as though it's a form of Zygarde. But how can you figure out what this form is? Well, let's just say, every legend has its origins. What's going on, guys? HybridHero here. Today I'm here to share my thoughts on what this new Zygarde form... Wait, just a moment. I'm getting a hero signal. Hybrid here.
Hey Hybrid, have you been looking into information about Zygarde recently?
Why yeah, Toby. I've been looking into Zygarde's origins and mythology, and I think I figured out what his new form is based off of.
You know, I've been looking a lot into the mythology of Zygarde and what it's based off to recently, and I think I may have worked out what this blob Pokemon is all about.
You know what, Toby? How about you stick around here and help me explain to viewers what this new Zygarde form may be, and we'll soar on over to your channel and explain what the blob is.
Yeah man, let's go for it.
As you guys know, the XYZ trio is based off Norse mythology, Yggdrasil the tree of life, and animals surrounding it to be more specific. The serpent which resides at the bottom of the tree is the one that Zygarde is based off of, Nidhogg. Before we go any further, I would like to point out that even though these legendaries are based off these creatures, it doesn't look like the roles are based off of them, as Nidhogg seems to be more evil rather than a creature to maintain balance. Just keep that in mind as the video goes on.
Nidhogg lives in Niflheim, home to primordial darkness. It's the cold world filled with ice and frost giants, and being the underworld of Norse mythology, home to the dead.
Now Nidhogg often gnaws at the roots of the tree of life. This usually angers the eagle, but Nidhogg don't care. He does it so often that it could practically be his job. But he does in fact have a job, and that job is to serve the Queen of Niflheim, goddess of the underworld, Hel. Not only is Hel the Queen of Niflheim, but she's in fact a Jotun. Jotun are also called giants in Norse mythology, so yeah, she's a giant. She's also supposed to be the daughter of Loki, who's also supposed to be a giant. But I mean, if that's the case, it's either I question the size of our good old Viking friends, or Marvel must have been on something crazy when they were making the Thor movies.
Nidhogg serves Hel by bringing her the bodies of the dead. She then takes the souls from the body to prepare them for the War of Ragnarok. Hel turns the corpses into an army of the dead that Nidhogg is allowed to control in the battle. So at this point he decides, well hey, I've got control of this great army, I'll create more corpses and have them fly onto battle on my wings, which I now just have for the sake of the battle. I mean, at this point he can do pretty much whatever he wants. He's so awesome, he's actually one of the few creatures that survives the Battle of Ragnarok. Seriously, so many gods have their lives ended, including Hel herself. But not Nidhogg. Nidhogg lives on.
Looking at everything we just mentioned, it's clear that Nidhogg and Hel have a strong connection with each other. A stronger one if we point out that Nidhogg and Hel are the only two notable figures that live in Niflheim, aside from the dead spirits. Now, since Zygarde is based off of Nidhogg, it wouldn't be surprising if this new giant Zygarde form was based off Hel, as Hel is a giant. Instead of having two separate Pokemon, Game Freak could have tried to make these two separate entities into one Pokemon. This new form even looks like it has a crown of swords, and that could be to symbolize the status of a queen that Hel had. So,
paralleling the events of Ragnarok and AZ's war, it could have been that Zygarde developed this form during the battle. However, it does seem that for whatever reason 3,000 years ago, he lost this power. This may have something to do with the demise of Hel.
Hel is usually depicted as half alive and half dead. If Zygarde's new form was to look like this, it could show the connection to Xerneas and Yveltal, as Xerneas represents life and Yveltal represents death. That would make this form the perfect middle ground for this trio. Let's take a moment and look into some facts. We know for a fact that Zygarde's getting two new moves, 1,000 Arrows and 1,000 Waves, and these seem to fit Zygarde fairly well.
1,000 Arrows could well represent the army that ride on his back into battle the thousands of dead bodies. And a connection to giants can be found because as giants stomp around, they cause thousands of little destructive shockwaves.
Since Niflheim is so frosty and cold, and Hel is the ruler, I think it's safe to say this new form will be part Ice type. Being an Ice type would also give Zygarde the upper hand against Yveltal, and it makes sense as Nidhogg and Yveltal's counterpart, the Eagle, are bitter enemies. With all this being said, we believe that Hel is Zygarde's new Obelisk the Tormentor form. There isn't much evidence to base it off of, but the fact that Hel is a giant and that she shares a strong connection with Nidhogg, well, it's more than enough evidence for me. Whew. Great work, Toby. It looks like we have a good idea what this new Zygarde form is. But wait, what about that new blob Pokemon?
Don't worry about it, Hybrid, and as I said earlier, I've got a great idea as to what this Zygarde blob thing is, so how about you come over to my channel and help me out with that?
Yes! Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to hero punch that like button, comment down below with your thoughts and opinions, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're coming from Toby's channel, then hey, what's going on? I plan to have more theory videos coming in the future, so please make yourself comfortable here on my channel. But if you're not coming in from Toby's channel, then what are you doing? Soar on over there. We're talking the mystery behind the blob Pokemon. You want to check that out. I'll catch you guys over there, alright? Later.